I don't know if you guys heard this game, but Palworld
I'm
has been
sure I
taking the
have.
world by storm. So Steam has had like concurrent players like in the 2 millions daily.
Yeah,
Yes,
Um,
and that is like the third most ever on a Steam game of
yeah,
having that many concurrents. And
right.
honestly, it is probably the first most given how old the game is. Like, if you consider that ratio, probably. I don't know, but that's huge. Huge
Yeah.
numbers.
So, what is Palworld? It's basically monster catching, survival game, crafting game, mixed into one. It was created by Pocket Pair. Some people refer to it as like Pokemon with guns because your character can like craft guns and stuff, and you can go around like shooting like these monsters.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like similar to like if you guys played like Valheim and like 7 Days to Die or Rust, it's very similar to those games.
I read somewhere that it's like Ark, Monster Hunter, and there was another one, Fortnite. It's like those three games, but with monsters in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's the monsters themselves. I guess like Nintendo's getting a little bit haughty about, perhaps even telegraphing some
yeah,
lawsuits.
that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Is a lot of people think that they're copying Pokemon. So I mean, they say like some of them are like AI generated. Nintendo actually gave a statement, and I actually have it right here. And so, like, basically, what Nintendo said is, we have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to the Pokemon. So it sounds like, they're looking into it, but they're not like taking any actions yet. I don't know if they can.
Well, so I went and looked at the monsters, and I'm not a lawyer, but I think in a world where people can get away with spoofing other people's songs on YouTube and not like getting pursued for it, altering the songs just enough to not get like screwed over in copyright. Again,
Right.
not a lawyer. If you're at this podcast for legal advice, I'm so sorry for what's going to happen to you in the near future. Um, the monsters don't
Well,
really look like,
some of them kind of do.
yeah, kind of, but like there are some mobile games out there that advertise, and you like literally see like one for one shots. Like, here's our monster capture game, and then you'll like they'll like whiz by a couple of designs that are very Pokemon inspired, but then there's like one that's just like straight up a Pokemon. They'll just like throw Dragonite past you, and you're like, yeah, I don't know how you like. Good luck, you know, with
Yeah.
that. But like, I don't think that's kind of what this is. And I watched like 2 hours worth of gameplay before this. I haven't played it myself.
Yeah,
There
me
does
neither.
seem it's a big time sink. It looks like, and it's
I mean,
not my
it
style of
does
game.
look fun.
It does. I think where they're gonna have a hard time is like you capture the pals in pal spheres, like,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like a direct ripoff. I feel like, but
and your character crafts them and throws them. They throw them to capture them in pal spheres after weakening them. Now they weaken them by punching them in the face or hitting them with a weapon or shooting them with a gun. Like, they're not like using creatures to battle. You can use creatures to assist you, but the battle system's different. It's not like turn based like Pokemon Legends Arceus was. I think Legends Arceus probably comes the closest to what we're dealing with here. But
Yeah.
yeah, it and like you said, Dan, and Steve can talk about this more, but it's very a lot like Valheim, where like you start with nothing, you got to cut down trees, you got to build like a workbench and a town, and you got to get it,
yeah,
going. It's just
And then
like,
you enslave your pals to build things for you, and you have sweatshops to make guns, and you can torture them, and you can do whatever you want to your pals.
you
So
can
it
also
is,
feed them or
yeah.
kill them for food.
yeah. You can eat them and feed them each other.
I think you can actually catch like humanoids in there too. Like I've
You
seen
can
people throw.
capture humans,
Yeah, yeah.
actual people. You can capture.
They can be your
And
they
it
can be
makes
your
sense.
pals.
It kind of makes sense to me that a Pokeball would be able to capture a human too. They just don't.
No, Pokemon are
just-
from outer space and people aren't.
Yeah, but the apricorn isn't. At least as far as we know.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Yeah.
more mature. Has a lot more mature themes than Pokemon. Like it's not. I would say it's not even really for kids. So
No,
it's definitely kids.
no.
Are you joking?
I would not
mean-
let my children play it.
Well, sure, but it doesn't mean they don't want to, and it's not marketed
shooting
to them.
cute animals and whatnot. Come on.
Okay,
Look
let me
at that.
rephrase
You have
what
like
I said.
Electivire with a minigun. Are you telling me that that's not like high school today? Like,
No,
that's-
what I should have said is I don't personally think that it's child appropriate.
sure. We're not asking your opinion.
I mean,
It
some
was my
aspects of it
statement.
definitely, but I could see other aspects of the game as definitely child friendly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean-
it's silly. It's fun. I don't think Nintendo's probably going to actually pursue legal action against them.
I don't really think they can, to be honest. Like in
Yeah,
my
it's not.
opinion, it's like the gaming world's like based off of like inspiration off other games. So it's like that's kind of how games got to like where they are today. They just
Yeah,
build
definitely.
inspiration off each other. I don't think anyone really has like the original idea of anything nowadays. It's already been done.
I mean, there are definitely still ripoffs. I don't want to take away from that argument because that is still a thing. But I don't quite see it here. The game is so much different from the Pokemon franchise, like actually how it plays.
Right. There's so many like different aspects of the game that like Pokemon just doesn't even have. So it's like
also like you don't have that like your pals can only have 4 moves and it's turn-based battles and like it's not like that. So
I mean, not every Pokemon game has turn-based battles. Some are a little bit different, but
no, but
you know
what I mean.
Do you guys remember Skylanders?
Yeah,
it sounds familiar. I don't.
I think it's kind of like a creature game, right? Where like you have your creature in real life, you'd have like a figurine, right? And then you plug it into the system and you can play as your figurine,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but
I
isn't it
remember
like
that.
Diablo style isometric?
Yeah. Where I'm going with this is a lot of the creatures I feel like in Palworld kind of resemble that art style. In my opinion, more so than they do Pokemon's art style. If you really wanted to put like an artistic font on it, like Digimon has their own kind of like artistic font, right? And Pokemon has their own like different look.
I think I disagree with that. Watching some stuff that I watched anyway, it looks very close to like Scarlet and Violet. Like it looks close to that art style.
I mean, we're getting a little bit subjective here, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I went through the list and I personally don't see it. But except for like
fair.
some really big standouts, but it's few and far between, I think.
Yeah, at the very worst, they'll have to get rid of like 10 pals.
Yeah,
and maybe turn the capture spheres into like Ghostbuster traps or something.
Then Ghostbusters will be after them. No.
Yeah, because they're coming out with a new movie,
I like Ghostbusters.
which hopefully doesn't spawn a crappy game. But yeah,
that's fine if they do. They'll have to wait 20 years to play it.
Yeah, didn't Luigi's Mansion kind of do like a Ghostbusters ripoff a little bit?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the Poltergeist 2000.
It sucks instead of blows. That's the difference.
There's no lightning.